Hello and welcome back to another episode of SuperCoach Insider. My name is Ben.
And I'm Chris.
And thank you for having us. It has been a little bit sketchy, I think, Chris. The first round of the buys are done, and boy, they're not over yet.
No, they're definitely not over. Actually, the fun is only just beginning, really, Ben.
It is.
And I've had so much fun in the first round. I'm really keen for round two.
So much fun. So much fun. Quick little shout out. We got to do, today is sponsored by Dylan Smith. So this is the Dylan Smith special, who was kind enough to send us some cash for beers. So today we're going Cricketer's Arms, the lager.
Get in the lager, I reckon.
And it's a subtle dig because I know Chris doesn't like cricket, but the world... Wait.
Excuse me, sorry.
You are just thirsty.
Oh, that's actually quite nice.
Yeah, lager. It's nice.
I really don't like lager, let's be honest.
Yeah, so Dylan Smith, today is for you. This is the Dylan Smith special. So I'm sorry for the late start for the podcast. For those that were waiting on Twitch, I had to stop off for meds. I've been coughing like a banshee, and today I just had some cough medicine, so I'm probably doing the non-medically recommended thing. So sorry, Ben Ashton, who is a pharmacist, but I've just mixed some cough syrup with beer. So we'll see how that goes.
What the...
Otherwise, I'm going to cough the whole way through this, Chris, and I want to get it done for the people.
No,
I want to engage. So,
I'm all for it, bro.
How'd you go this week, Chris? Because I think you finally got one back up. What is it, 3 versus 8 now? Is that how we're going?
I don't know. Well, I actually don't know how you scored yet. So I know that I hated my life because this week should have been a career week for me.
Well, I know you beat me because you vice captain Cripps.
That's the only reason why I had a half decent score. But
I'm surprised you didn't go bigger when I saw your score. To be
I
honest.
should have been, and I'll explain to the public.
Tell the people.
Because this frustration's about to go into fucking overload. All right, and I'm swearing early because I was frustrated last week.
You mean you're more frustrated than a Brisbane supporter after half time?
No, that's what. No, actually, I would. I actually, and I did have the VC on Cripps. Half time it was 55, and I did say we were chatting. I was like, it's just like Cripps to have like 100-point half. So like, it could go anything.
It's my fault. It's half time. Neil is
Neil
killing
was on
it.
87. You start having a little bit of a chip.
Big time
why'd you
chip.
Go, Cripps, Neil,
I was like,
I
I actually vividly remember this, Chris, where I was just like, oh, ouch, VC on Cripps, what a rookie.
Show us your rooks. Yeah, I can understand that.
And backfired big time. But how'd you go?
I went quite well, yeah. So I went 1994, which was a great year as well. I was 9 years old. No, so... my frustration really, that might sound like an okay score. It wasn't a great score, but it was an okay score. Is that I actually had 21 players playing this week, and I had 6 scores of I lied. I had 9 scores 72 or under. 3 of those were premiums. I had 15 premiums playing and I had 6 rookies. And I still... So the issue was...
And your VC.
So I had all of the bad scores. All of them. If there was one, I had one. The only one I didn't have was Petroselli. So I had Corbett's 10. I then had Jordan Clark's 24. I had Bolter's 29. I had Answorth's 33. I had Brodie Smith's 48. I had Cornelio's 64. My new trade-in that was so great. Thank you very much. I had Jeremy Cameron's 70, and
Jeremy Cameron was on nothing for 3 quarters. Did you see? He was literally about to drop in cash again.
You know what? About halfway through that game, I realized, oh wait, Jeremy Cameron's on my team. I should check his score.
Did you see how bad it was or no?
No, I didn't see because I didn't watch the game.
I was watching it. He was like the bottom scorer, I think, for GWS. He was on like 20 or 17 or 20. It was horrid. Anyway, okay, so where are you ranked now, Chris?
I did go up 4,000 spots.
So you're in the 20 or no?
I'm just outside of 20,000. I'm 20,190 or something like that. I know you start losing count after the first 10,000. So,
just like money.
So I went better, but I was frustrated because I thought that with the amount of rookies that I had, I'd at least be able to give a couple of 70 scores or some decent, maybe an 80. The rookie scores that scored really well. Sam Walsh I traded last week. Michael Gibbons I traded 2 weeks ago. So a lot of people still have them, which was a good idea to hold. I just needed to trade premiums, so I had to get more premiums in my team, try and fix up my squad. So
that's fair.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It just happened to be an unlucky week for me. A week where I thought I was going to get ahead of the competition a lot and score really well. I just didn't end up doing it, but can't win them all.
That's true. So with mine, Chris, I think I'm actually really lucky because I did have 18. I was really lucky that all of those other rookies that I don't have tanked.
Yeah.
Because if they fired, I was going backwards in the ratings, basically. So I had Answorth, I had Brodie Smith. The first one, though, Answorth, I actually waited on my trades.
Mm-hmm.
Answorth did really bad. So I was like, ooh, okay, so he was my 18th player. So I was like, right, well, let's risk it. I'm going to bring in Rotham, who got 30. So,
well, I had Rotham as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention I had Rotham too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I got a 40 out of Rotham. But he was counted in my score.
Wasn't it?
Nah, 40.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so I made some points. Anyway, so still disappointing. I ended up bringing in Cornelio as well. Look, just more for the fact that he was playing next week, and I wanted the extra premium for the round. Didn't work out, obviously.
Well, that was part of my trade plan. Is that part of the reason why I wanted him was just because I could have him for the round.
Well, yeah, for the round, he's a good price. And to be honest, I'm not even upset. Like, yes, I'm upset he didn't do too well. However, for me, I still like watching him play. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's still one of those people, like a Bontempelli or a Matty Crouch, or someone that I can look at and actually enjoy watching him play football. So I'm not that upset that I have him in my side at all. I do know somebody who traded Walsh out to Pendlebury.
Oh, ouch.
Not naming any names, Ben Ashton.
Good trade though. Something we might not touch on, and I think it's all right to touch on this from the top. I definitely recommend a Pendlebury, and I still think he's a good choice.
True.
There's a problem with Pendlebury that we didn't foresee. In that Braden Sire is a fucking beast.
Yep.
And we knew he was good last year, but I think we just all forgot, right?
You know what's
how
funny?
good he is.
You know what's funny? I'm literally playing. I have to win my draft games at the moment, so I'm trading people out. I brought in Sire.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And now I'm like,
Draft Smokey.
Now I have to hold him.
Braden Sire played so well. And
a lot of contested
ball. The problem was I didn't see much of Pendlebury around the ball. I asked you for the heat map.
Yeah, his heat map was outside, but I did see him around the ball a little bit. But the problem was that anytime he went near a contest, I think it was Oliver was actually next to him.
That's true.
The minute he even grabbed the ball, bang. Like, they just sort of tackled each other. That was it.
Look, I thought that the Queen's birthday game was fantastic. I actually had to take half a day off work to do it, to watch it. So I went to... So we both currently work at the same company, which is pretty awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dougie and Donna.
Yeah,
and Damo.
I'm a visitor.
So I went to my boss and I'm like, oi, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't realise today was not a public holiday and Collingwood are playing today. He's like, oh, the Queen's birthday game, of course. I was like, yeah, do you mind if I just bail and work for a bit? He's like, oh, I'm pretty sure you have that meeting, hey? And I was like...
That's so cool.
Yeah, I do have that meeting. You're right, Dougie. He's like, yeah, mate, just get out of here. So
he's pretty cool.
Yeah, look, I honestly...
Anytime your boss is like...
Unreal.
Go do that thing.
Well, I've had great bosses before, but... Yeah, Doug and Donna, they really take care of me, and it's really good to work at a really good company. But yeah, so I managed to get the day off. I managed to watch the sliders as well.
Yeah.
I thought Nick Rewalt was the unbelievable, by the way.
Yeah.
He did
awesome.
the whole performance, but I couldn't. You know what's interesting? Like, I couldn't tell it was Nick Rewalt.
You know what's also interesting, Chris?
What's that?
Is that you didn't even let me finish how I went for the round.
Oh, yeah, well, do we really care about how you went for the round? No, how did you go? Because I want to know. I do want to know, Mr. Cough Syrup.
Yeah, I know, right?
How did you go? Because obviously,
Side note.
we even at the leisure or something, right?
Yeah, we have to even out. Well, we have to have at least one expert panel on this talk.
This is true.
But I did actually quite like Favola as well, who I thought was actually quite funny.
Yeah.
The way he dressed up. But so with me, my score, I didn't go as well. However, I had a lot of rookies and stuff. I kind of planned more for the buys because I knew 13 was going to be a stretch. I scored 19-16, and that was with Kelly as captain. So for I wanted to. I think I even mentioned VC Danger into Lockie Neal, but I didn't want Danger to get 130 or 128, and then I kind of feel like I had to take it. So I was like, right, I'll go with Neal, who was going well, and little do we know that he just towed up so much in the first half that they decided to get someone on him.
Yeah.
Kernow, like one of the best taggers when he is tagging. Absolutely brutal. Didn't do much at all after halftime. So yeah, literally reneged him. So 19-16, I had brought in Cornelio, made a couple moves there. I do have some cash to spend, which is the plus side of it. So trying to set up mainly for this week. So I end up having I think it was about 360,000 cash, and I'm going to make some moves this week, bringing in like Sick Dog or Ryan or both, or I'm even actually thinking about bringing in Bonds and Pelly because they play Carlton this week. Not quite sure yet, Chris, but I do have some money to burn because I will be having 18 players this week. Although, which is what I will get into at some point, we might be, for those, by we, I'm talking about those that are smart like me, and brought in, is it Dylan?
Okay, bro.
And brought in like Dylan Moore instead of Corbett, which I'm so glad that didn't work out for you this week. Just PS.
Yep.
He might even play this week.
He's not playing.
How do you know? Wingard's out.
I know because I'm just positive that you made the wrong decision.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly, I made the wrong decision. However, Wingard is injured, so Moore could actually come back in for the Hawks. You look at it, I'm hoping that Scott comes in, like Higgins is out for 6 weeks. So it would just be my luck that on the one round where we're so tight for players, that all of a sudden Moore comes back, Scott comes back. Literally, they should just bring in the whole band. They should just bring Bynes in for a game. Just get the whole gang together.
I reckon. Well, I mean, you're accurate there. I think that there's an outside chance that it might actually work for you.
You know the reason I think I think Dylan Moore might actually get a game, and I could be 100% wrong, 100%. Is that well because he's fairly fit and he's fairly fast, and they play the Bombers, so I think they might actually need him playing that sort of defensive role on one of the quicker forwards.
Yep.
And he can just run all day. So I think that's where Wingard's out. So whether they play him in the forward line and try and lock down one of those rebounding defenders, or whether they sort of shift him the other way. So it'll be interesting, but I think there is a spot for him this game. Maybe not for many games, but this game I would be fingers crossed.
Well, there's another couple that I think still might get games. I mean, there's every chance that Haitley actually rocks up every now and then. I honestly, this is obviously a joke. But surely
Haitley?
He's diddled the coach's daughter or something. The guy has absolutely been tearing up the twos.
You've already brought logic to this argument, Chris.
I just can't stand it.
You've already brought logic to this argument on why he isn't playing. It's because he hasn't paid his time yet.
That's true. But I don't like logic. I prefer the diddling his daughter story. It's actually going to make headlines.
Maybe it's like he diddled Mumford's, not daughter. He's probably not that old. Anyway. That makes it quite sick as well. Yeah, right.
anyway,
well, I was thinking maybe he sent a text or something to Mumford's missus, and they won't put him in the same side as him because he will fear for his life.
Fair enough. The other option, of course, is Scott. So Bailey Scott might actually get a game this week,
hopefully.
And of course, the reason really at the end of the day for that is that obviously Higgins did a shoulder. He's out for 5 to 6 weeks, reported by the club.
Yeah. It could be hard, though. I mean, the only benefit is that Hall hurt his knee, among other things, like his career. But they also do have, Dom Tyson? They also have a Hearn. But I'm hoping that with a new coach, maybe they're like, okay, we've won a few games. Let's give one of these kids a go.
Yeah.
Which would be cool. Fingers crossed. Tyson, I'm hoping Scott gets a go over Tyson. But that's just me.
Now, by the way, guys, our video is slightly out of time with our audio, so I do apologise for anyone watching us live. The reason is that I do believe my CPU just went and started downloading Windows updates. Oh, so
no way.
Windows is just killing us. Classic Windows. So it should be finished very shortly, and I'm trying to stop that now. So hopefully that's all synced. Let us know in the chat if it's all fixed. But so Bailey Scott, I do think there's an outside chance he gets it this week. I think he had 17 disposals and a goal. Ahern's the other option that might come in for him instead. So there's more of a chance that Ahern gets in. But, maybe who knows? New coach.
Maybe they both get a game.
I mean, there's surely a reason why Ahern's not playing as well. So maybe Bailey Scott gets another go. The only reason he was really dropped was injury and then get concussed.
I think it's because Ahern's not that much of a defensive player because he's hurting them on the backside, Chris.
Yeah. I see what you did there. He's hurting.
Jeez, this cough syrup's on my head.
Oh, wow. So, look, how is your approach to the buys? Okay, so tell me about the trades you made last week.
Yes.
The trades you're going to make this week and how that's going to affect your entire side. So, what trades did you go with last week?
Okay, so I went early on bringing in Gardner. Mm-hmm. Just because he's 100k, and I figure even if he doesn't play, it's
worst case scenario.
Well, it's freed up. It's
the best of a bad situation.
It's freed up max cash. Let me just go and reverse these trades and put all my premiums on the bench, which I'll forget about. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have 337,000k. I brought in Gardner last week. I brought in Answorth last week, and I brought in Cornelio. So I got rid of. I'm trying to think who I got rid of.
players?
Yeah, no one relevant really, obviously. But looks like...
Walsh? Did you get rid of Walsh?
No, well,
Whitfield,
Walsh,
you traded Whitfield, right?
That's right, Whitfield. So pretty much I just traded Whitfield. I got rid of a couple of ends. Not Scrimshaw.
Scrimshaw?
Yeah,
Both
so
not playing?
Scrimshaw not playing. Got rid of him, not playing. Freed up some cash that way, and Hayes was the other one. So Hayes, I figured if I went Hayes to Gardner, there's 100k.
Yep.
I'm not going to miss that. It's 100, so I'll take that. Yeah, so sort of freed up cash that way to make some moves this week because I wanted to upgrade this week. So this week I'm looking at going Dylan Moore up to Sick Dog for about 115,000 or something or other, not too much. Atkins up, which would be the main one if I can.
You mean Darcy Moore, right?
Yeah, Darcy Moore. Darcy Moore up and Atkins up to either. I could then switch him into defence, which would be likely, and make him Ryan. So I could have Ryan and Scrimshaw essentially 2 for 2. Or I was looking at getting rid of Dylan Moore, except now I think he'll play. So
either way, are you fielding 18 minimum, or what are you fielding this week?
If I do the 3 trades, which I will to do if I have to, will be 18.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to set up.
Do you know how many premiums you have in that selection?
I think I think I've got 12 premiums. So considering where I started with a lot of my round 13 buy people, I think having that many isn't actually too bad. So
I think this week 13 premiums is going to be on the higher side. I think
some people will be on low,
I'm
like 9
probably
or 10.
going to be on about 12. So I might be slightly lower than you. But last week, I did quite a few trades, but mainly to set myself up for next week. So I had 21 playing. I could have had 22 if Hately started. I would have had a full squad on field, which would have just been absolutely amazing. But I obviously traded Lockie Whitfield as well last week. My other trade outs were, I think, Gibbons. Yep, so I did Gibbons to Baker, which is an unfortunate trade. That was a trade that cost me 57 points. And I also brought in Sicily. So I went Whitfield to Sicily, Baker to Gibbons, and my last trade was, let me have a look quickly at my team here so that I can tell you. Cornelio. So I brought in Cornelio as well.
Yep.
So unfortunately for me, my trades last week all netted me negative points.
Yep.
If I had held my trades, I wouldn't have done that. However, it has set me up for the next few weeks in terms of being able to maximize my buy structures. The one thing that's really, 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 really bad for me now is that I plan those trades on the contingency that the guys that I'm trading this week would have enough cash to finish my trades that I had planned.
And because they did so crap, you don't.
Right. So Bolter loses money because he just is an absolute spud and gets a 29. So I had planned on trading him. I'd also planned on trading Answorth and Clark. So that was my 3 outs. All they needed to do was make a 40 or 50, but instead they went negative. So Clark and Answorth both lost cash. And what that meant for me is that for me to get my optimum trades in this week, which to me is I wanted to have Luke Ryan in, and Boak in. So those are my 2 premiums, and then Gardner in one of the lines. So those are my 3 trades.
How short are you?
I'm 25k short, which I wouldn't have. All they need to do is if they all scored
make
50,
8k each.
No, not even. They didn't even need to make money. They just need to hold and not go below their break evens. But they all scored so poorly that they all screwed me.
That's so good for me though.
Worse than that is now I have Corbett as well. So I've got Corbett who's got a break even of 70, but he's only 210k. So there's no point in really trading him. And to make 18 on field this week, I now have to hold Bolter. I've got to hold Corbett. So the only way that I make 18 on field this week, which I don't think I'm even going to go that route, is by losing cash for my trades next week. So now I can't even make the trades that I wanted to make. So I've had to instead. Now I'm looking at a completely different structure of trading out Heaney to Dunkley or some other sideways premium, maybe Caleb Daniels, a value premium, someone who's already played in the forward line.
This is so
or
bad.
I could go skip on Boak and go Heaney to Boak and then get Luke Ryan in the back line. But then I don't see the point because the Uber, in my opinion, Travis Boak's an Uber premium in the forward line. So is Josh Dunkley, I think, moving forward. They're both Uber premiums. getting Luke Ryan in, who's a conjective premium, like he'll probably average around the same as Thomas Stewart and about half a dozen other guys that are looking at around that 100 average. It's not really important that I really grab them. Someone like a Ryan, like I could just wait a couple of weeks and get a Hearn, or wait a couple of weeks and get a Whitfield on the back end. So I'm more leaning towards just grabbing premiums that are absolute must-haves, try and balance out my side, and then look for that value F6 and value D5. At the moment, I'm looking at Mundy to drop cash in the next couple of weeks. He's got a break even of around 190.
196.
Yep, so he'll play this week. Depending if he gets another 80, I'll wait till round 15 for my last forward upgrade, and I'll grab Mundy. Right, so that's I'll get him for about 480. That's a hopeful plan.
He could drop more though. I think he's like 530 now.
Yeah,
so he could drop a lot.
Exactly, he could drop a lot, right? So, which is fine. But as I just need to be able to afford him. I don't have the cash.
True.
So the other option is waiting for someone like a Hearn or a Whitfield when they come back. So, which I probably will do both. So I might leave a spot in the open because the unfortunate thing is by me not having enough cash to do those optimum upgrades, I'm either going to have really subpar premiums in those spots, like a Franklin or a Gray or similar, or I can wait a couple of weeks and just upgrade 1 or 2 weeks later, which will impact my overall rank, but will set me up better for leagues. So at this point, when I'm ranked the way I am, what's the better option? I don't know. I'm probably leaning more towards waiting a little bit longer and getting the right premiums in. I've got enough trades to make that call. So I'll still end with 5 trades, but it might not be until round 16, 17 until I'm fully upgraded.
Yeah.
But I'll have a good team for the finals. Whereas if I just go early now, I'm fucked. So, yeah.
Interesting.
That's my plan at the moment. So, again, it's just, how do I predict that? Like, no one can predict that.
You can't.
In one round, 6 of my rookies, the only rookies I have pretty much, all went so bad that they've actually made me negative cash, and now I'm trying to bridge the gap. So it's tough. I'm sure a lot of other people out there in the same environment, but I mean, I was playing JB in one of our JB from Dr. Supercoach in one of our leagues. He had 18 on field and 2 less premiums, and still beat me.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like we both VC'd Cripps, but he just had the right rookies. He had, and this is stupid, but he had Stack, which scored 70.
Yep.
Atkins scored 70.
Yep.
And Gibbons 109.
Yep.
Those 3 just killed me. I couldn't compete with that. So.
And I would have still had Walsh in my side if I didn't stuff up, which I can't be upset because I brought in Kelly.
You can't be upset if you traded Walsh. I mean, he had all the evidence was towards...
Well, I brought in Kelly, so I can't complain because Kelly has netted me points so consistently. Yeah. And realistically, his good score this week balances out for his bad one last week. So it's like he went 100 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he's probably just spiked in cash. So, look...
I feel that the thing with Walsh that upsets me is that if you were in a good enough position that you held Walsh this entire time... and then you get that 140, like, great. But I'm not in a position where I could wait on his cash gen. At his price, I need to make a move and need to try and make a move on the competition.
After his 60 last week, I think a lot of people made the move. And it's just
they
one of those things.
And because you're approaching the buys, you want to try and maximize your premiums on field and maximize your score.
Yep.
So don't feel bad if you're one of those guys that trade him. I think most people did. I did. Did you have Walsh? Or...
No, I traded him for Josh Kelly.
What was your overall score again? 18.
So 19-16, and the good thing was I did drop in ranking, which I knew I was going to
because I had round 2 on this.
Yeah, we are because I had a bad score. However, because of all the other rookies that did so badly, I actually only dropped like 290 places. So I'm sitting at 1150-ish. So not bad. So I'm sitting in a pretty good spot to kind of progress. I actually think this week fielding a full 18 will actually help me slide up the ranks.
Well, here's the thing about this week. I don't necessarily think it's very important to field 18. If you look, because most people are going to, I swear a lot of people are going to probably have like 15 to 16 which
players.
Is fine. And if you're 15, you've got 15 premiums, then who gives a shit?
Yeah,
you'll probably still outscore someone with 12 premiums and 6 rookies, especially if those rookies are Corbett, Burgess, So this week,
Burgess injured?
By the way, my best scoring rookie last week was Burgess. Guess where he was? On the pine, not scoring anything. He was an emergency because I had 7 forwards this week.
Why didn't you put him in defense? You don't have
couldn't
a swing.
because I didn't have a swing.
You
now I do.
You should have brought in Gardner.
Yeah, hindsight's fucking fantastic, isn't it? Hindsight's bloody brilliant.
Anyway, so for me, I'm trying to work out at this point who I need to have, and If I brought in Bontempelli, then my midfield is done.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go through. This is a week by week thing where we really go through who you should be looking at trading in, and we have done this for the last couple of weeks. But based on the buy that's just gone, I do think that Bond's good, but he does have a break even 133.
Yes.
You can probably wait a week, but
they are playing the Blues.
They're playing the Blues,
and the thing I like about the Dogs is I think they have about 7 of their remaining games at Marvel. I think
I don't mind it.
Bont there could do some good things.
Another reason why I'm going Dunkley. I think that I'm not going to get Dunkley at this price for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So I think that even though sideways trading Heaney's not great in my position, I think that you just need him. Hey, we got a live follow-up. Out back to you. Thanks, mate. Thanks for following the stream and welcome. Ask as many questions as you like, buddy.
I was going to say, hopefully the NBN is now at the Outback to you.
That's true.
Yeah, so for me though, but here's the dilemma I'm looking at, Chris, though, is if I went Bontempelli now, then I'm essentially passing on some good value, which will come. I anticipate that Merritt might get tagged at some point. Whether it's for a half a game or whatever, I think it will impact his scores.
Those are 2 very good options.
Yeah, and well, Matt Crouch, even though he went well this week, I think he still will drop a little bit of cash. So it's like, okay, do I go Bont this week, even though I know he has a high break even because of the potential to score? Like his score this week could really help rocket me up.
True.
Could do. Or I can then go, okay, well, maybe I'll go Sick Dog and Ryan in defence because let's remember, I actually moved Whitfield to make another midfielder.
Yep.
So my defence line will need some work in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at this point in time. So I'm not quite too sure. I will say that I am still tempted by the lure of Robbie Gray and Westhoff this week.
Westhoff's the one, isn't it?
Well,
say you don't love the Westhoff pick.
No, I'm considering...
He is value. He is super value.
I'm considering it because Charlie Dixon made it through his first round of Samful.
And he kicked like 5 goals, didn't he? He kicked like something stupid.
So I'm considering it for that fact because also they're playing... who will playing this week? They're playing like Fremantle, who don't
Saints,
have... No, Fremantle. Fremantle, who don't really have that many tall defenders, and I think he'll kind of work his way through a little bit. And the ruck at Fremantle, maybe Darcy will play if he's up for it. I just think it's going to be interesting. So I think Westhoff might actually have a good heat streak. He normally goes on runs at some point. Even like years ago where he starts off horrible, I've brought him in a draft round, and then he ends up averaging like 95 to 100 for the back end of the year.
Yep.
I am tempted to do that because if I do that, then he's cheap enough that I could essentially bring in a Franklin after his bye.
Franklin went big this week, and it's at the perfect time, isn't it?
I know. He looked good too. But here's the thing, they're both so cheap that I could essentially have Westhoff and Franklin as my dual F6.
And
then if they do well, I can then push one of my mid forwards and switch them into the midfield.
I actually don't mind that. But people are always... And the other one's Robbie Gray, but the thing you got to realise is Robbie Gray might go well for the next 3 weeks, but I don't think for the rest of the season. I've changed my tune completely on Robbie Gray from the start of the season.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think for the rest of the season is going to be great. He'll have his occasional good score, but I held him for that long. I had him for 6 weeks at the start of the year playing the same role, and his highest score was like 106. His 140s are gone, man.
Yeah, they are gone.
And it's not his fault. It's Port Adelaide's fault. They either play him out of position.
Here we go.
Or, as I said, the ball movement there is freaking shocking.
Yeah.
They leave him one out in the square, but it's not one out. There's 5 other guys that are attacking that contest. He's never going to win a marking contest unless there's quick ball movement. It's not going to happen.
I'm with you.
Anyway.
I am with you. I think he is over the hill.
Yes, please. Round 2. You're not
he's
beating me
over.
today. So, look, let's go through defensive line. And there's a couple of guys that I want to touch on that you might want to wait on. So, obviously, the big ones are Sicily and Ryan.
Yes.
We've said before, it's a coin flip. Stop asking. In the next Twitter conversation I see that asks me, oh, who should I choose between Sicily and Ryan? I'm literally going to pistol whip the shit out of you. Like, come on. Like, it's a coin flip. No one knows. The answer is so ambiguous.
Where's that place that you like to go and eat and have beers, Chris?
You talking about shenanigans?
Yeah. Here's my pistol, Captain.
Aha!
Super Troopers, for those who have seen it. Yeah, it's funny because I actually saw, I'm not sure, maybe it might have been Phantom or someone did a bit of an article on the both of them, and some of their stats are fairly identical except for kickouts.
Yeah, which
Ryan gets more kickouts. They both have their pros and cons. Sicily is good value. Ryan I like because he's actually gone big a few times.
Yep.
So if he goes on a heat streak where he actually goes big a couple times in a row, it could hurt.
Yep.
However, he could just go 80, 120. I don't mind him as an option. I'm looking at him, particularly with the injuries at this point in time. I think there's not. I think he's good for that 6 to 10.
Yep.
So
The one you might want to wait on if you're still like trying to pack out your defense is Tom Stewart. So if you just want to pack out your forward line this week and then worry about your defense next week, Tom Stewart is value. So he's only 496,000, which is why I'm looking at getting him. So instead of packing out my defense this week, I might look at saving 30k and going Tom Stewart next week. Because I think that they're probably going to average about the same. Fantasy Freako posted some fantastic stats today. Tom Stewart was second in the kick-ins. Sorry, I lie. Second in play-on from kick-ins across the league for the year so far. Jake Lloyd's number one, as we all pretty much assumed, and I think Shannon Hearn's number three.
I was going to say Hearn would have to be up there for sure.
So the better stat from that though is how I straight up asked how many he's had since Zach Tui came in.
Yep.
Because I thought Zach Tui would come and be the main kick taker. He was last year.
Yeah, but he hasn't done anything this year though.
It's been really poor.
You know his average though? It's like 68 for Tui. I had a look in draft. I was like 68 Tui.
Maybe he's still just recovering, but Tom Stewart's still taking the majority of kickouts. So since Zach Tui came back, play on kick-ins. What am I saying? Tom Stewart has had 34, and Zach Tui's had 21.
Okay,
so he's still taking. He's taking less than he was before, but the disparity I thought was going to be much less, which would have impacted Tom Stewart's average a lot.
I think it also helps that Geelong are killing it.
They're not relying on that long kick down the line that they did. So
I'm surprised how dominant they are, actually. Geelong. Not surprised, but I'm surprised that Scott actually had it in him to really change the way he's played and how much these young kids have actually lifted.
They
were forced to because it wasn't working. They can't continue to keep bringing in
their list is average at best. They're fairly well coached.
But they're doing the Richmond though. Richmond had some good key pillars. Geelong have some good key pillars, right? They have some good talent in there, but then they brought in these kids that are doing their role and providing effort and pressure. They're bringing the Richmond game plan to 2019.
Yeah, and the other thing that I'll say is that Tom Hawkins is absolute killing it.
He's a beast,
by the way. But I don't think that they imagine that they would be able to draft a potential Brownlow winner in his second year.
Stupid.
In Tim Kelly.
His asking price.
Well,
he will go from rookie to...
He's priced himself out of the market.
He literally, what was it, like rookie to what, 800,000?
No one
a
knows
million?
that money.
800? A million?
No, it'd be more than that. No one's paying $1 million for Tim Kelly.
It'd have to be 800. It'd have to be up there. Maybe. To lure him across, it would have to be like 800.
They don't have that money. No. Neither of those teams.
Fremantle are already paying Hogan.
They're already
paying
Hogan, Lobb, Fife.
Yeah.
They paid a lot of money for those guys. Cam McCarthy would be on a stupid contract.
That stupid contract's probably ending soon.
No, they would have given him no way. Because he only just went off 2 years ago. He would have had
3 years now, isn't he?
No. Well, maybe, but I would assume that they signed for longer, given that he wasn't a free agent, but he had to go to them. So it'd be interesting to see what that is.
He's no good.
They have some cheap players. Luke Ryan's undervalued and underpaid.
Oh, for sure.
They got him off the scrap heap pretty much. So honestly, I'm not sure who, and he doesn't want to go to Freo, but he will because he wants to go to WA. I would be very, 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 very surprised.
How can West Coast afford him?
No, they can't. That's what I mean. Like they can't.
Who are they paying though? Who are they paying at West Coast? Like overs. Yo, obviously on.
They've have 6 players on 600 plus, mate.
Yeah. Shuey, Yo, Gaff.
Darling would be incentive based.
Darling would be huge.
Dom Sheed now he's got a key to the city.
That pays for itself, right?
He doesn't really need it.
Pays for itself. Every time he goes out anywhere in West Coast, he's getting free beer, free food.
Sorry, mate. It's not in your contract, but you're getting free shit everywhere. So can we just... Yeah. We're just going to sign that one? Yeah, mate, we're good. Anyway, so I think Tom Stewart's a real value pick that you might want to look at if you don't want to just chalk your defense at this point. But you can't bring him in this week, obviously, unless you're playing for league, which, of course, you can. And it does depend on your buy structures. In the midfield, of course... So I think that a lot of people still don't have Lachie Neale, but he's in 42% of sides. Ooh. So I think next week a lot of people will be looking to get Neale.
I remember when Lachie Neale was in not many sides when we started him.
Yeah, it's true. Ben Cunnington seems to just keep going on. So he's actually the third best mid in terms of average right now, I think. Oh, wait, no. I lie. In terms of total points, he is the third best mid.
Yeah, because Fife missed a game.
Yeah, 5 missed a game. Josh Kelly missed a
There he
few.
He's up there, though.
Yeah, so he's still fifth. So in terms of average, he's averaging now 114 points. I had a pretty good game, 132 last week, but against the Gold Coast, you would have expected him to do a little bit more, to be honest.
Yeah, for Gold Coast.
I still think he's a good player, and he's not necessarily a bad option. Again, what we said last week, I still think reigns true, is that he's not really hurting a lot of people because he's not in so many teams. So
We got a couple of messages, though.
Yeah.
There's 2 teams in the top 100 that...
To have him's a unique advantage, but to not have him's not a disadvantage. Like, I can quite easily have a Jack McRae instead, or a Lachie Neale instead, or a Patrick Cripps. That you can pack your midfield out enough that he's not really impacting you.
You know what the funny part is? Dunkley's only in 16% of sides.
I know, which is why it's really important that you get him. And I think he's in a lot of top sides, though.
Yeah, well, he was in mine, and his percentage actually went from, I think it was 11 or 12%.
So whose side was he in, sorry?
Me.
Ah, damn it.
You're not going to get me. I still know the game.
Does anyone out there play the mind game? If
even though I'm drinking with my dominant hand, like, anyway.
Nah, yeah, I'm always on my left.
Anyway, so Dunkley actually dropped about 8% after his horrible start. So that means quite a few people dropped him.
Fair enough.
And probably brought him back in. So
the other options again, and look, I think most people at this point are looking for their M8. They're not looking for their M7. They're probably looking for their M8. So you do have you've got the obvious ones in Bont and Merritt, but you've also got someone like a Gaff or a Yo that come back next week that I think that are real good value.
Yeah, Yo's still got a little bit of money to drop. I think a lot of people still probably are on their 7, Chris, because you have Walsh. People would have still held it, or Atkins. Like I was running Atkins and Richmond.
I don't know what
Stack.
this is. Those are not spitter fingers. These are spitter fingers.
I was thinking more like
I called it.
everything was good.
Some car
It was
drive
real
real
good.
good.
It was real good.
Car drive real good.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
The one player that you might want to hold on if you're looking for an M8 that's cheap, and this is what I'm doing, is I'm waiting for Rory Sloane. So Rory Sloane right now is 536k with a break even of 181. So for me, getting him in round 15 for 500k, mate, that's what I've got to do because I'm poor. I'm like, Oliver, please sir, I want some more. We got another live follower. Hey all.
But I think
Who do we have here?
probably no one.
Yeah,
There's so much options though. Like really, like Bontempelli,
these motherfuckers.
Seeker.
Sicily or Ryan, because I said
Oh,
I will pistol whip him, and I'll make it. Jeez, you're gonna die. Die
I told
quietly,
you,
at least.
dude.
Jesus.
Seriously, why do you think I had some like syrup before I
No,
came
it's
here?
fair call.
It's not
Seeker11
good.
subscribed again. No, it must be. What's happening here?
He's
Did we get
created
a live follower?
he's
Maybe
created
not.
dual accounts. That way, someone will actually answer his questions.
Fair call.
I think that's
we
it,
will
Chris.
get to Twitch questions. We're just gonna cover these lines first a little bit, and then cover a little bit on Bubble Boys, and then we'll go through everything.
I think we are absolutely so many options though in the midfield, Chris. So like Bontempelli will be dropping.
Yep.
Sloane dropping. Matt Crouch has already dropped. Well, and dropping
Pendlebury's
further.
now dropped.
Pendlebury will drop further.
He just had a 67.
He'll drop further too. Break even's fairly high.
Break even's a 132, so
But
can
he
hit
did go.
that, but
He did go big. The 2 games
That's
prior.
true. By the way, what do you think of Treloar's game on the weekend?
He was not best on.
He wasn't. He wasn't in the best 3.
Did you see
Easily.
his face? They came over.
I think
and
he was shocked.
Look, he was. They came over and they're like, oh, so blah blah blah. And while you're here, I think they honestly didn't even plan it. So they're like, we have Treloar here. Look at my hand. Here you go.
Sure,
and he's just like,
let's do it.
Well, look, it's a team
Surely
effort.
it's the Neil Danaher medal. Surely Neil Danaher selects the player.
I can't.
He knows a lot more about football than a lot of people.
No, I can't make that comment. I'm with you.
Oh, who makes the call?
Self-filtering. I don't know, Chris. I don't know who makes that call.
It's strange because I can't understand why that call was made. I didn't see him in the best 3. To me, I thought Jaden Stevenson was best on. I thought Steele Sidebottom was second, and Max Gorn was pretty good as well. And I know you.
I already know you have reservations about this.
I have reservations of Gorn because he played well, but
he definitely butchered it, but he got hands on and kicked it to like nowhere and just hoped. But
But that's what Ruckman do, and I can understand that. But he went
not many ruckmen get 33 disposals though. So even that's still like.
Brady does that every second week, bro.
He does not.
I would love to see. Look, he probably averages 25 disposals. Someone gets 33, goes, whatever. You average like 15 disposals.
I don't think Grundy cared because they won.
That's what I mean. Like his impact wasn't that great. The first score of the game was from a Gawn turnover on the first bounce. He handballs literally to air, and then I can't.
No, he missed his mark.
Yeah, he handballed to air.
Yeah.
Clayton Oliver goes, "Oh, that's behind me. I can't get
Clayton
it."
Oliver gives it to him and goes, yeah, the 1-2. And Gawn's like, what? 1?
Yeah.
Oh.
So his disposal was shocking. That last kick is just a demonstration
Chris,
of his terrible footwork.
No one likes haters, Chris.
All right. Now, moving into the forward line before we get on. So Rucks, no one's looking at Rucks to trade in, let's be honest. So on the forward line, of course, the two you need really, you need Boak, I think. And he's mainly because he's at a price that's cheap enough, so his value.
Yes.
The one that you probably want is Dunkley. He's a little bit more expensive though.
Well, I think the 4 really is the Boak, Kelly, Dangerfield, Dunkley.
Yeah, that's the key combination.
After that, it can open up big time. Like, yeah, I'll still have Heaney because he's in my side.
And the last two are questionable, which is why I wanted to keep Heaney and still try and get Dunkley, but I can't afford it.
Well, I'm keeping Heaney, hoping he actually goes on a couple good games and elevates in price.
Yep.
And then if I have trades left towards the final series, then I can actually use that luxury trade then to actually get me a point of difference.
Yep.
On someone who's actually having a hot streak.
Now, the one you might want to wait on. So this is what we're doing. Going a little bit left field.
Monday.
You might want to wait on Monday. So Monday has a break-even 198, so he's guaranteed to drop cash. He's also priced at 553. So after one more game, you'll be able to pick up Monday for like 520k.
Yep. So what's his break-even? Because he's projected to go about
198.
No, he's projected.
Oh, his predicted drop?
37.5, but his projected score?
His projected score is 115. So if he goes 115, he's still going to drop 37k week 1.
So good.
So I honestly think that he's the better choice out of your last. Again, if you're looking for your last upgrade, the problem is you can't do it until round 15 because this week he'll play, next week he's got his bye, and then you want to trade him in the week after. So that's a guy that I'm looking at doing to fill out my.
So you're saying that if you're a slow starter, it could work into your advantage to go a Hearn. And
it could for league play,
for league play.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Chris. For league play, that is an absolute steal.
And he's only in 6% of teams, so he's super unique at this point of the season. That is very unique
for someone who went on a massive hot streak. The only reason he's averaging so low and dropping in price is because he had that one bad round.
Well, you say he's averaging low. He had one bad round.
Oh no, I meant 99.
He's had a lot of bad rounds.
Well, first 2 and then that one just.
He's
recently.
averaging 99, and this is including scores of in his system. He's got a score of 73, 35, 83, and 40. Yep. So he's got 2 scores of under 40. 2
were in the first two bad scores first 2 rounds.
Yep.
Since then though, he's pieced together 8 good rounds.
Yeah.
And then he's had a spud round.
He's had a score of 151, 122, 137, 112, 141.
Yep.
When he goes big, he's going big this season.
Yep.
I'm definitely looking at Monday. I think he's one that can really set you from difference. And because, again, I'm just lagging behind a little bit on the pack to try and complete my team.
So you're going like Monday Franklin?
No, I'm probably just going to go Monday. I only need one more.
Right.
If I go Dunkley, which I probably will this week, I only need one more. However, I really want Franklin as well. My option at the moment is to have Franklin and loop him with Westhoff because I already have Westhoff.
Right.
Because I don't think that it's good to just sit Westhoff at F6. I want to try and push him to F7. But that's going to take trades, so it's going to depend on how I can make cash between now and then.
Yep.
And it's a last-minute priority for me. So
that's
fair.
How
we go.
That's fair.
All right, now let's get some Twitch questions, shall we? Because there's quite a lot of questions here. Sorry that we haven't really...
It's okay, Chris. You scroll through those and have a look what the key themes are. But I can 100%, and there's another 100%, Chris. So it's 200%.
That's 200%. There's a lot of percentage.
The big dilemma so far, and I had some messages from... just trying to think. I think it was Wally Wallace.
Yep.
So big issue, and I've seen it on some other pods as well this week. Hashtag Dr. Supercoach, who I listened to today while I was out on the road, and actually listened to our friends as well, Chris.
Our friends? We have friends?
We have friends.
Oh, that's crazy. Which one? Supercoach Elites?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the big question, Chris, though, is while you're scrolling through those, is people have Smith in their side and they have Hoare in their side, and people are looking at keeping Hoare over Smith, which is awesome in theory. However, these same people might be looking at getting a donut this week because they're not fielding a team. Yeah, so that's a big conundrum. That is a really, really big situation.
Well, the first thing is, are you playing for league or are you playing for overall?
Overall.
So if you're playing for overall, then it changes. If you're playing for league, then you hold him. I think you hold both really at this point, and you upgrade to value, which honestly
you could hold those and
upgrade both. Upgrade to Hearn and Whitfield.
Yep.
That's who. If you're playing for league, you want the best.
Don't burn your trades. Just
keep them.
Just wait.
Wait until you can get Hearn in 2 weeks' time and Whitfield maybe in 3, 4, 5 weeks' time. But
whatever it is.
Get him before finals. Massively unique.
Yeah, Smith to Hearn, bang, and then go Hoare to Whitfield.
So I'm looking at having either one of Hearn or Whitfield as my Brodie Smith trade, but it's not going to be probably next week. It's probably going to be a bit after because Hearn has a break even of 161, I believe, and he's 600k. I just can't afford that, so I need him to be about 550 before I make a move. So for me, I'm waiting a couple of weeks to do that.
That's fair. Yeah, but I think with overall,
you got to if you're going to copy.
Well, for me, I didn't think Smith was a keeper to begin with, so I was happy to bring him in and upgrade him at some point.
If you're holding, here's the issue. Here's the key issue. If you're holding and you're going for overall, if you're holding Hoare and you've got Smith, and you want to trade Smith and holding Hoare, you're literally losing this week and for the rest of the year whatever Brodie Smith scores this week.
Correct.
Against Carlton, by the way. No. Who are they playing?
A
depleted Richmond.
Yeah. So he could go 100.
Giving up scores to defenders.
So if he goes 100, hypothetically, if Brodie Smith against a depleted Richmond bangs out 100.
That's 10 points a game.
10 points a game.
10 points a game.
So Hoare essentially needs to average, if Brodie Smith averages 85 for the rest of the year, Hoare needs to average 95 in order to
I can't see.
In order to break even.
Yep.
And that was the point I was trying to get because he's like, you're talking about like cash, like Hoare can make some more cash. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, yes, it is good to have cash around
if you've
buys.
Got it, it doesn't matter.
Cash around buys is if, like, the shit thing is with Bolter, you probably have to get rid of him because he's going to drop 30. And that's the worst part.
Yeah.
So you need to upgrade Bolter or downgrade Bolter, but you'd have to downgrade him to get someone essentially on field.
Yeah.
Because you need those points on field. And that's pretty much the big thing is with the going for overall. You need points on field. Price doesn't matter so much. So Hoare's done his job. He's made a heap of cash. So what if he's going to make another 20k? It doesn't matter. If you can get him to a premium right now, bang, do it. And you have a premium. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm completely agreeing with you. There are a very select few reasons why you would not trade him. And if you,
low trades.
But I just don't think anyone's in that position unless they're playing for league. Yep. I don't think there's anyone that's got like 19, 20 guys going into this week and they're like, I'll just hold Hoare. I don't think there's many guys in that position.
So if you have a lot of players, you can hold.
Yeah.
If you don't have many trades, well, then you shouldn't be trading Smith anyway. It's an interesting one, but
that's our take, right?
That is definitely
that's
our
the
take.
fresh take. All right, now let's start going through these Twitch. Now we'll say hello to everyone that's out there commenting. Thank you all. So we got Ando, Sir Black Knight. Thank you very much.
Hey Ando, I will take my time, mate, when I'm not well.
And we do apologise that we didn't start on time tonight. I've been under the weather.
Yeah, and you can hear me. I was coughing every 2 minutes before. So I think it's a combination between the beers, your company, and the cough syrup. So there you go.
That's true. Dude, by the way, shout out to this guy. I don't know if he's changed his name or if this is a new follower. Guy called Hamstring Awareness as his
Oh no way!
That's so good.
That's
his Twitch name, Hamstring Awareness.
Can we bow?
We are not worthy. That is amazing. I wish I had thought of that.
That is so good.
That's
Hamstring Awareness. He must be from Adelaide.
Surely.
Or GWS, one of the two.
He's a crash.
50-50.
He's a crash brother.
Tell him
essentially.
Tell him where he's from, or Richmond.
Show us where you're from. Yeah.
Tell us where you're from, because that'd be really hilarious.
Shout out to Carlito who said, "Hope we get a good Brisbane versus Carlton game today." By the way.
Oh, here we go.
Come on.
You have to bring it back up.
Come on.
Why you do this to me?
Because you give it to me. You gave it to me when we lost by a goal untouched. I thought, why not? Everyone's sharing.
It's fair. It's fair. And
I'm
going to tell you.
Okay, so were you watching that game and being like, okay, I hate Patrick Cripps. Okay, well, I actually want to do fellatio to him.
What it was, Chris, is that the first quarter and a bit, I was watching it going, this is fire. Like, we are
You guys are playing really well.
We were on fire. And then all of a sudden...
No. Neil was dominating the game.
Yep.
And almost as good as Cripps in the second half, but just not quite. He was just not on the same level.
They were smashing. And not only that, Lions were getting on the outside. They were kicking goals. We looked good. We butchered a couple.
I will also Carlton turned over the ball amazing amount of times out of defence in the first half.
The funny thing is that. See, now you've lost my train of thought, Chris. Let them.
I will also say.
Let them play. Let them play. Yeah, but then they got out to this nice lead of 37 points, and then you just watch them, and Carlton started to try and claw their way back, and the Lions were like, "Oh, this is easy. We're playing Carlton. Right? One thing as a Lions supporter you never do is
Don't count your chickens.
You never get cocky when you're a Lions supporter. You don't know what they're playing week to week, and it's been that way for 10 years.
As a Collingwood fan, I know this as gospel truth because
you don't get cocky.
We've been down by 2, 3, 4 goals before and just run over the top of them by 10 goals. So
when we went round one, we play West Coast, we're winning, and I'm like, even then, I'm like, we need to kick the next goal.
Yep.
And even then, you're like, hold on. And then all of a sudden you win by like 40 and you're like, oh, what a great win. But you are never cocky. And the fact that we lost doesn't surprise me.
It was off the back of one of the most impressive performances by an individual player that I've ever seen.
I stopped watching it after halftime.
Oh my God, dude. You stopped watching after halftime?
Yeah, because they started to lose. I was like, oh my God, Carlton's playing well.
Oh no, don't do that.
I'm a hex, so I turned the TV off.
Dude, he balked 2 guys, ran inside 50 and kicked a goal from 45 metres.
I saw.
The guys...
He had 5 disposals inside the 50 and he kicked 4 goals.
Do you know how amazing his delivery was from clearance, though?
5 disposals in the forward 50 and he kicks 4 goals. Freak.
Spread from a clearance, he did this about 4 or 5 times, where he would have the first disposal from a clearance, right? He would split the defence open with one handball. Like, to a guy running into open space into forward 50. Cripps had one of the most impactful halves of a football I've ever seen.
One of the worst...
It was unbelievable.
One of the worst decisions... besides to go his haircut, is
it's bad.
Putting Lions on him.
Yeah, and they didn't have a matchup for him. They didn't change the matchup.
Robbo. Put Robbo on him.
No, they changed that late. Robbo went in late, but...
Too late.
What Cripps then started doing is he went forward and was... he took like 2 contested marks on him. So, in the air, Robbo's a liability.
Yeah.
So...
He got a good mark, though, the other week.
Yeah, but, generally, in a contest,
one-on-one,
Cripps is going to kill him.
Yeah.
He's just not tall
enough. Around the contest,
yeah.
Exactly. Robbo will tackle.
Man on man is fine, but against someone that's 194 centimetres, he's never going to make it.
And, about an extra 15, 20
so
kilos.
They just didn't have the right matchup for him. And when someone's that lit, it's probably a 2-on-1.
Doesn't matter what you do. It's like you could honestly just put someone on Gary Ablett and you'll still get 35 touches and kick 2 goals.
That's how good he was playing, right?
Yeah, it didn't matter what you did.
But Walsh then just got off the chain because they put so much emphasis on Cripps. He was just running around on his own for half the game. I couldn't believe it. Like he played a really good game too, but it was his 142 was literally this big compared to Cripps' second half.
Do you know why? Because he was following around Cripps in his back pocket.
That's true. You just get feeding off him.
It was clever though. How clever is it?
You know what was more clever?
You're following around the big beast, and the big beast gets it, bang, 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 gives it to him, and Walsh's his disposal is slick. Like
his handball.
Treloar should actually spend the summer with Walsh and actually just camp out for a bit.
It's good. Their hands in close were really good as well.
Oh yeah.
But what I'll say is that Matty Cruiser just basically literally palmed it down to Cripps. Anywhere he was, even when he didn't get a hit out, what he did was he forced Steph Martin to play to the same quadrant that Cripps was in. So if he didn't get the hit out, he gave Cripps a chance to impact it. It was like one of the most beautiful dynamic duos, or like from ruck to ruck rover, that I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. And I'm sorry that you couldn't appreciate it because it was against Brisbane. If it was against Collingwood, I'd feel like you were, but man.
No, I get it. And I know people have ripped on me in the chats and stuff, which is cool. I get it. But I'm not one of those people that doesn't expect I think we actually need a good loss like that to actually sort of turn our season around. Can I say, the biggest fall from grace this year, Chris, would you rank, say, Westof's fall from compared to last year? No. This is a serious conversation.
Yeah.
Steph Martin has not been as impactful this year.
Played with Archie Smith on the weekend.
In general, though. Like, he's not being that impactful. His Supercoach scores like in the 80s, if that. Like, he's actually dropped off a lot in general.
Well, we said at the start of the year that I wouldn't pick him because of his age. I mean, he's 32 now.
Yeah, he's getting on.
He's had his 4 good years. I think he probably peaked a little bit early for a ruckman, but maybe he's just not as strong. He's not as athletic. He's definitely not getting around the ground. And they had a reliance on a mark kick game plan that they don't need anymore. So now that they're winning contests, they don't need to try and control the ball. So a large time what they're doing, and their forwards are winning ball or making a contest. So they're allowed to kick long to a contest, which is usually a one-on-one. And even if they don't, if Hillport doesn't mark it, he's generally getting it down to ground with good smalls that can actually impact the game. And so that completely changes how you play a game of football, because instead of trying to pick a pass, going 20, 30 meter passes and trying to move the ball forward when you don't really have the foot skills to be able to do it, now you can go long with the confidence to forward targets that are actually going to help you win the game. And that cuts out what he was doing. So he was doing those short lead. He was very Rockcliffe of the style of play. Short lead up targets, short, mark, kick, mark, kick, mark, kick. That's probably the reason. He's not getting those cheap possessions anymore.
And then kick it or backwards, sideways, whatever he had to.
Exactly right. He's never been a really great kick, but he's been a good lead and he's been a good mark. Good mark. So he's been able to do that. So their style of football probably is just not conducive to the way he plays.
Who's had the biggest drop off then?
Oh, 100% Westhoff.
Yeah. Fair cool.
But role dependent.
Yeah.
Because he still has the talent. His is not the fact that he doesn't have the talent. Or
it's just that
role.
Port's playing crap, and his position has been reliant on other people.
And you know what? His positioning's actually really good. It's just that when he's positioned well, Port just looked the other way. I watch him way too often to be like, he's out there on the wing on his own and no one's looking that way. What are you doing?
I had a couple of rages today, Chris.
Sorry. I just get angry.
A couple of rages today. Couldn't send an email because I was raging in the online platform. So I had to actually write it down in my diary because... Imaginary diary. A couple things.
By the way, before you move, are you good with public speaking?
Yeah, why?
Like do you funny or are you just shit?
Funny? Yeah. As in, am I like funny as in I choke, or am I just like...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, what would you be? I know, I was just, I was thinking of you for being MC of the wedding.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, you'd be good.
I
just asked him, by the way, live on Twitch.
Hello. I was in senior debating. I was school captain, my friend. I am used to speaking in front of people.
As long as you bring the comedy that you bring to this.
Why do you think I am so articulate? I mean, one of us has to actually be able to talk.
I just want you for your looks, really. I'm actually just wanting the Abercrombie and maybe a little bit of Fitch.
That's why I get the best side here, Chris.
That's true.
Speaking of which, I need a haircut. Anyway, so one of my rages was people trying to talk Zeeble in as an option.
I don't mind Zeeble as an option, but...
No, I was intrigued, Chris.
You were intrigued?
I was intrigued because he has done well. He has a good role. I am intrigued. The problem is...
What's your problem?
Is that
show us your problem.
His scores have actually come around the fact that Mason Wood has been in form as well.
Yep. We discussed this earlier in the year.
And healthy.
Yep.
Mason Wood, fit and healthy.
Do you trust those hamstrings? Because
I don't. And if it's the old Bontempelli, if they get injuries in the forward line, guess who's going in the forward line?
100%, because they have no one else at this point. Nick Larkey's playing right now.
Zeeble, if Mason Wood goes down, bang, who have they got apart from Ben Brown? Catch you later, Zeeble, you're going into the forward line.
Tom Campbell's the only real other option, but he's not really a key tool.
And North have so many midfield depth that they can actually afford to then go, okay, you know what, Zeeble, you're playing forward, and we're going to put a Hearn in the midfield, we're going to put Scott in the midfield, we're going to replace you that way, and you're playing forward.
I'll say two things to North supporters that are out there, if there is any, because there's only like 4. Throw back to last year where I made that same joke.
Yes.
Cunnington's one of the best clearance players in the competition, so you don't need Zeeble for his clearances, right? This has been North's problem for about 10 years. It's a lot of teams' problem it's currently Melbourne's problem is they've got a lot of midfielders that are one-paced. A lot of midfielders do the exact same shit. So basically, Zeeble is a poor man's Cunnington. So why would you play both of them in the same midfield?
Yeah, I remember one year Cunnington was averaging over 100. For most of the year, and then dropped off a cliff.
Yeah.
That was the year our draft league went split.
He does.
I got Zeeble thinking, I've got a guy averaging like 105. How great's this? And then boom, nothing.
Well,
absolutely nothing.
What they really lack is dynamic midfielders, and they have one in Sean Higgins, but he's now injured.
Like Simpkin could be better.
Simpkin,
he's too young though. He's too young, but over time he could be dynamic.
In their defense,
could be dynamic.
In North's defense, they have tried to draft them, right? Bailey Scott is a classic example of getting a dynamic midfielder, right? You've got Jai Simpkin, who has done basically nothing.
Hey, he's done more than McDonald.
Well, maybe.
Well, actually, no, McDonald.
They tried to get Aaron Hall as a dynamic midfielder, but his defensive liability.
Huge.
So those three guys, they're trying to get that third pick. They've got Sean Higgins, they've got Cunnington. They need that other big A-grade midfielder in there. Someone who's going to be able to play inside and out. Like I say, I hate to say, Sam Walsh would have been perfect in North Melbourne. I tell you what.
I still find it. Yeah, he Walsh.
Oh, mate.
Would have been.
That's what they need. They need someone who can be inside and out. They don't need another Zeeble in there.
North should not have done so well last year.
Well, it's their own fault.
Well,
You're right.
Yeah.
It's their own fault. I feel bad. They've got the outside. They do have like a
Aaron
Pollock.
Hall should honestly, coming from one of the worst.
He's a good
sides,
Neefle player.
Coming from one of the worst sides in the comp, not running defensively, going to a better side.
What do they think?
You would think that he might actually.
This is why Brad Scott's unemployed.
Well,
so kids, in the year of 2018, we decided to draft Aaron Hall.
Yeah. It's like they've gone for like a Hershey's Kiss or something. They've gone for like a mixed bag of non-Cadbury's. They've brought in Pollock overpriced. They brought in Hall. They brought in Tyson. And Tyson and Hall aren't even in their best 20s.
Well, again, Tyson. He's an inside midfielder at best.
They have them.
What is he doing?
And here's the funny thing.
Not even a good inside
I
midfielder.
apologise because a lot of people ripped into Maine. And Maine has...
Thank you.
He's done well. He provided... last year...
Took him a year.
Last year, yeah. But look, at least North Melbourne...
This guy. Should I answer live on stream?
Who's Michael?
Binny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you went to school with him, bro.
Oh, well, calm down.
He's probably listening live.
Catch
me on Twitch. I'll say catch me on Twitch.
North Melbourne have probably one of the most expensive VFL sides.
They definitely do.
They have to be
They
paying,
definitely do.
They'd be paying a fortune in rehab. Anyway, North Melbourne. Let's look at their finals coming up here. They verse the Giants at Tassie. Fair enough. Collingwood, the Saints, Essendon, Lions. So not too bad in the next few here. Blundstone Arena, they actually have a couple games in Tassie. Good on them. Go Tassie.
Their draw's favourable.
For the first part, and then they play...
In the finals, not great.
Eagles away. So Brisbane away, Eagles away, Hawks at Marvel, and then Geelong at Geelong, Port at Marvel, and then at... Melbourne, Victoria, Tassie again. Righto, okay.
I don't hate their draw. It's not necessarily that bad. It's just, I can't put my faith in the fact that Jack Zeeble, A, holds his form, B, holds his role. It's just.
And he's not that cheap anymore either. He's like $4.75.
No, exactly.
He's cheap-ish.
You may as well. I'd rather go a Caleb Daniel who he's done the whole role. Like he's got enough. We've got enough body of work that we know. Caleb Daniel's playing defense first year.
I'd rather go Jeremy Cameron as well. Probably similar price, except Jeremy Cameron...
Bigger ceiling.
Well, that, and he's in a winning side.
Fair enough. Now, we should go through and just acknowledge everyone on Twitch. So we do apologise that it's taking so long to get to everyone.
Well, Chris, you don't have to get to everyone.
We do like talking. No, we don't have to get to everyone.
You don't have to get to everyone.
But I'll get to Fozzie Lupone, who said, did the old Brisbane come back after half-time?
Look, even a royal turd can stink now and then.
That's true.
Write that down.
I understand.
Chris,
write that down.
Sorry. If I'm MC, I won't be able to sit at the bridal party then.
What do you mean? You're right there next to us.
Yeah, but I'm not having drinks and sitting on the table.
Yeah, well,
jeez.
There's a limitation with
right. So you're trying...
Our relationship is sort of...
Okay.
Maybe a bit...
You know what? I think I might have to adjust a few of my own...
There's only so many that I can cater for,
right?
My friend.
Okay, so this is like giving your cousin a little hand-me-down kick-up where you're like, I don't have a role for you, but you can run water.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
You know what? You're playing like reserve grade, but you're also running water for the first.
Okay, look. Okay. I like water. Hey. I like water.
Hey, everybody's doing it.
I like water.
Everybody's doing it. Plus... I'm mainly thinking about Trina here because do you really want Trina there on her own table?
She will be if I'm MC. She'll be.
No, but you're only up there for a
couple seconds.
Yeah,
whereas so it'll be like your sex life.
It's absolutely.
Do you see what's just happened here? I give this relationship.
It's about value, though. Really, it's the value I provide.
1 year.
Calm down.
I'm putting the hex on you now.
But do not. If she hears you, she'll murder you. She will. And she...
All right, sorry, Chris, you go ahead.
She's still less. I'm kidding. All right, so a few things about the sound being out of sync, so we do apologise for that, guys. Thank you. And thank Blake H121. All right, here we go. G'day. So Naderade, welcome back again, sir. G'day, lads. How are we going? Should I trade out Hoare or Brodie Smith?
There you go.
Think I'll feed 8.
Solved.
Okay, again, think I'll field 18 and trade Brodie Smith. So if you can field 18 and trade Brodie Smith, then that's fine.
Wait for one of your first rookies to play, because if he gets an 18, guess what you're not doing?
Well, unless you have like my luck, which is 6 of your rookies are going to be shit. So whatever, doesn't matter.
As much as you can, wait for your first rookies to play and get an idea. Like I got Stack playing on Thursday tomorrow night.
Yep.
I'm waiting for his score before I make any trades.
Oh, 100%. Well done.
Yeah.
Outback 2K says hindsight. Yes, of course.
Walsh.
Is Harley Bennell an option? Fuck no. Harley Bennell, there's only one thing going in Harley Bennell. Harley Bennell's calves, they're going out the window. And he's gone straight down the pub after for a brewski and then getting suspended 2 weeks later. That's what he's doing. That's all Harley Bennell's good for. And I would have made that more R-rated, but I'm trying to make it PG-13 over here.
Chris?
What?
That's really harsh, Chris.
Fuck off. There's nothing harsh about
Harley Bennell is an option for 3 strikes.
He's actually, I'm sure he's on like 6 by now.
Is it ironic that 3 lines get you 3 strikes, Chris?
I'm sure that, I reckon the AFL have like hidden bylaws. It's only like, it's 3 strikes per club. So when he got traded.
So I think he's probably one more away from being traded.
No, he's less than that. Right now, at the end of the year, he's going to get traded to his 3rd club, so he's got another few strikes up his sleeve.
Here's my question though, Chris. Bewley, right?
Yeah.
Would you play if Bennell's fit? Who would you rather on the half-forward flank?
I would rather play Bewley in midfield.
But Bewley's not playing midfield though.
No, I know. It's a valid question.
Bewley's a good midfielder.
Here's the answer.
He's not
Do I think that Harley Bennell has any chance of debuting this week? No chance in hell.
Really?
Last year, he played about 7 games in a row at VFL level before getting injured for his calf for the rest of the year and did not get selected at all. There's no way Ross Lyon turns around and after 2 weeks gives him a run.
Maybe.
He's proved over a 2-year period that he won't do it. He was carving it up all last year.
Carving.
I should say, using his credit card
Carving it
to
up.
carve it up.
Because his calves are bad. I don't know. I don't know, Chris, because maybe last year they were like, okay, we're trying to extend your career and get you good so that way at the end of the season and next year you'll be good. But he's at
the end of his contract.
Well, he's so tainted that they might as well just play him.
Well, that's the other thing.
And hope that he does enough
They
to
could
actually
just be like, fuck it, let's just throw him in there.
Well, they might.
If we get what
You know
we
why?
get, and we
Because
don't get upset.
You know why? Because they're like, well, look, you need to play in order to play well and give confidence.
I dig what you're thinking.
To get another contract. Otherwise, if we play you in Waffle and you have 8 games there, okay, then what? It doesn't mean anything.
At the end of the day, the answer is quite simply
You need to get him in.
Do you trust Ross Lyon or do you not trust Ross Lyon?
If Ross Lyon plays Bennell, then it's up to Bennell. I will tell you that much.
That's the stupidest answer to that question.
No, it's not, because if Ross Lyon plays Bennell, then if Bennell plays well, he's playing again. He's not dropping him.
But they're not going to chuck it. No, I don't know.
If he plays...
I can't imagine... Bewley's playing a fairly good role. He's not playing great Supercoach numbers, but his role and the way he's playing football is actually pretty good. He hasn't really stepped a foot wrong. I can't imagine him getting dropped at this point. I mean, I could get Stan corrected tomorrow. I don't think it happens, but stranger things have happened. So, see how we go.
I think the question was probably also related to...
Would I trade him in?
Yeah, I was
Fuck
about to... No. I knew your answer.
Fuck
I knew your
no.
answer. I knew your answer.
No way in
He's
hell.
a forward only too, which is the problem. If he was a mid-forward and he came out like a bang-bang and actually pulled out some 80s, I might put him on the bench and swing him.
If he gets 80s, I still wouldn't get him in. Because you got to remember that anyone you're trading from this point forward into your team, you've got to think that they're going to be here to the end of the season. There's no point in... Trading him in for money gains is nothing. Is he going to be on your field? No, he's going to be on your pine.
I'd take the gamble.
No way.
I would.
160k
no,
to have a bench player.
150-ish, isn't he? He's not 160 over. I think it's just under. But, no, if he was a mid-forward, then I'd probably be like, maybe.
Fair enough.
Forward only, though. I can't afford that as a forward only.
Nah, I dig it.
What am I going to do? Sideways trade a Young? Like, seriously.
I don't dig it at all, but just don't tell Ben.
Sideways trade.
All right,
Young.
cool. On to Jordan 17X. He says, Angus Brayshaw, 400k, gone back to his role. Melbourne fixture is a piss take. Thoughts? No, don't touch him. He's a guy that literally, if he doesn't get 40 disposals, he's not scoring any well. And all he does is kick long to a contest. I hate those guys.
Also called the...
Oh,
Crisp.
the Jack Crisp.
The Jack Crisp.
He literally, he's not a good midfielder. All he does is receive the ball or get a clearance and just bang on his foot. He doesn't do any of the real...
At least Trawler runs and bounces and does a couple things. He tries.
Yeah, he tries those short hit-up kicks that he can't actually do. Do you want to continue with these quick questions while I go to the lavatory?
Right. So Chris is in the irrigation station. You are with Ben 106.9 live. Okay, so speaking of the Melbourne draw, let's have a quick little squiz-a-doo at the Melbourne draw. Okay, so the bye this week, they verse Fremantle at home next week, Brisbane away, which is amazing. 30th of June, so I'm going to have to book that in for a friend of mine. Then Carlton, the Dogs, Eagles, Saints, Richmond, Collingwood, Sydney, and North. You are right in the fact that Melbourne's draw is a bit of a piss take. I can see where the temptation comes from, being 400k. My only problem is that Brayshaw, people were anticipating him to be 108, 110 at the start of the year, which isn't the case, and it's been proven that it's not the case. So at best, you're bringing in a guy to average 100. Not worth it. Matt Crouch is under 500k. I'd rather pay the extra 90 or whatever it is to him. Sloan will be 500-ish or under. I'd take him any day as well because they actually have that ceiling and are a bit more consistent in their methods. Look, I think he could actually go on a good run, but even then, what's he going to average? 100? If you're banking on him being a 110 player, he hasn't done it at all this year. So I don't know. Maybe a weaker draw, yes, but maybe it just means Clayton Oliver or someone else sort of goes over the top. So
Ash is complaining.
Well, that's Ash.
She's complaining about me asking you about being the MC. And she's like...
You did ask me.
Yeah, I know. She was like, oh, how do I not have a say in this? And I was like, I just made a call.
So she doesn't... Oh, it's okay, Ash. No,
yeah, it's happening.
Okay.
By the way, are we on round 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. What do we get to?
No, I just spoke about Melbourne and how he's not... People brought him out at the start of the year thinking he was 110 average or 108 at least. And
Rachel?
Yeah, so even now, if you bring him in, what's he going to average, 100?
Even last year, he did the same thing. He just... So here's... I'll say Clayton Oliver's the same, right? So last year, Clayton Oliver scored really well, and so did Angus Brayshaw. They had a functioning forward line. Mm-hmm. Now, these guys are both guys that when they kick the ball, what they're expecting is a contest. In Supercoach, you kick the ball 40 metres or more, and it goes to a contest. It's an effective kick. It's a massive... it's 4.5 points.
Yep. The problem is Tom McDonald is not a key forward. He's like a third forward. He's a luxury man's forward.
You trade out Jesse Hogan, and they go, oh, I wonder why we're doing so badly. Jesse Hogan was one of their best players. He would be their top 3 players.
Well, he at least took the best defender, and McDonald could then float in and get marks and do well. Now he's on the best defender, and he works out, life ain't so easy.
Yep.
Being a key forward.
Take a look at their midfield and point me out the dynamic midfielder in there. It's really Christian Petracca. Now, we know that he's had his issues. He looks like he's a little bit overweight, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
But he's the really only dynamic midfielder they have. You've got Harms, which is a poor version of Oliver. Oliver, who's good, but his clearance work is better and he handballs way too much.
Yes.
And Brayshaw, who just bangs on his foot and is completely unreliable. Outside of that, they don't really have any dynamic wingers. They've got Christian Salem, who's a good foot, but can't find the ball enough.
Yeah.
They've got Jaden Hunt, who they've moved to the forward line for some unknown reason.
Even then he made some, running by the seat of your pants and then would make some bad decisions. You know what I mean? So then he had the speed, but,
And they've really got no one coming through from underneath, putting pressure on these midfielders because they're, really high pick and highly valued. Like,
you know who Melbourne could have really used?
Who's that?
Polak.
Yeah, 100%.
I know I've been hard on Polak, but they could actually really use someone like him. Gets on the outside, he makes good decisions, he puts himself in good positions as well.
Yeah.
And he can kick the ball inside 50.
The issue is also not that. It's I think they were really impacted by the 666. So last year, a lot of the time at the start of stoppages in centre clearances, they would run 2 guys off the back of the stoppage to run through and either defend the stoppage because they didn't win the stoppage or drive the ball forward from a stoppage situation. They can't do that this year.
If only you had a whole preseason to work that out.
I know. It's crazy, hey?
Yeah. Although I think teams will be a lot better prepared for that this year.
Yeah.
I think that's also why the Lions have had done quite well because we had, I think it was one of the most similar setups to a 6-6-6 to begin with anyway. And Richmond had to really change their game. Also changed their fitness coach apparently, Chris.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Fair enough.
Getting back onto the old Twitcheroo.
Yeah. So where we got to, you didn't go any further down these questions?
No, not at all.
Right, cool.
I just rambled.
You're a wizard, Gary, which is, by the way, another fantastic Twitch name.
Oh, was that a name?
Yeah.
You know what I'm liking, Chris? Is the Banter Fresh community with their naming.
Well, I think we draw the Banter Fresh community.
I think we must
it's
do.
our nature to be a little bit colloquial, a little bit funny, a little bit like left field.
People with a piss take. Oh, actually, Banter Fresh.
You know who's
worthy.
not funny? People who take shit seriously and then go, they comment on Twitter. I'm a keyboard warrior, and what you said is uncool.
Well, speaking of which, so today I put up a little. It was like the AFL. I did the AFL survey today.
Yeah. Oh, that guy who commented on.
Well,
Twitter.
it was actually quite funny, but no, Chris.
Dick.
No. On Twitter.
Yeah, there's
who cares?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's so.
This is the lamest thing I've seen since. Shut the hell up! No one cares.
I don't care about that. It doesn't bother me. What's the old? This is like 10 years ago where you'd be like, fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Yeah.
Go. And this is like, it's not a new thing. We have grown up on that for a long time.
And the funny
getting
thing is,
the conundrums.
you did that this morning, but then Dr. Supercoach, they actually did one. Like Pistol made a little bit of a joke about it earlier on their podcast as well, which was pretty funny.
Oh, similar kind of thing.
Yeah, but not for players that they were trying to select.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right, gotcha. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if I bring up my messages, it's quite funny though, Chris, because one of them said, what's her name? The journalist, Caroline Wilson.
Yeah.
So he said Caroline Wilson for all three, which I kind of had a little chuckle, and I'm like, oh, hang on a second, like this just got a little personal.
Yeah, we're okay attacking guys because that's not any. There's no lines crossing apparently.
Well, yeah. So we're like, okay, so it's kind of funny, but then we're like, oh, hang on, this got a bit personal. Plus, then it could be like, people might be like, oh, hang on, violence against women, etc., etc.
I think anyone that follows us regularly understands that what we're about is comedy and humor, and we don't actually take anything seriously. However, if you are one of those people, we do apologize, and it's nothing that we say.
It's been deleted.
Yeah.
He actually deleted it himself because he was like, oh, after he posted it, hey, this is where the Banter Fresh comes in, Chris. It turns out that Caroline Wilson is actually his auntie's friend, and his auntie is on Facebook. So he's like, I should probably delete my comment because his auntie might see it and then it might actually get back to Caroline Wilson.
Jesus.
And he also did think that even though it's meant in jest, he was like, oh, like people might actually get offended. So he does share the same reservations as us, but I thought it was funny that his auntie knew Caroline Wilson.
I agree. It is very funny. All right, moving on through the Twitch questions. So who should you choose between Sicily and Ryan? We've gone through that, but it's coin flip.
Pistol whip.
Oh man, there's 8 people that I think we got into the part where I said the next
must
people
have been.
says that.
It's funny because we addressed it anyway, so you can just scroll through those. That's fair.
All right.
I think we can go with that.
So we keep going down. Murph sounds like a Collingwood supporter. That's from Dirk Deji.
I love it when people heckle each other in the chats. It's pretty good.
It's good. All right. Out back to Kay says George claims clan raids. I've got no idea what's happening at this point. Boys, have you discussed Harley Bennell? We just did. Thoughts on him as an option? Yep, thanks very much, mate. Outback 2K says, and I agree with this fact. Grundy is a better ruck than Gawn. Discuss. Honestly. Tell me your honest opinion. Don't sit there stunned like you don't know what I'm talking about.
It's like...
Who would you rather have? Like schoolyard shit, right? Line them up. Who'd you rather have?
For the whole, like, for every element
You've
of the
got
game.
pick one. You've got 2 options. Who are you picking?
Well, it depends on my teammates, Chris.
Does it? It doesn't.
It
really doesn't.
It really does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
All right. We'll take Grundy with Melbourne's midfield and take Gawn with Collingwood's midfield.
Gone with Collingwood's midfield.
Is that just because Collingwood's midfield is better?
Yeah, pretty much.
So then that doesn't...
No. Well, because I think here's the thing. I wish I could kind of like morph them into 2, and it's like comparing.
Gawn is a better tap ruckman. I'll give you that.
Right. It's like comparing Mars,
but not much better.
It's like comparing Pepsi to Coke, right? They're both good. Do you know what I mean? Like some people prefer one over the other.
Here's what I would say. I would say Gawn dominates taps.
Hit outs.
But against weaker opponents better than what Grundy does.
Yep.
However, generally speaking,
Around the ground?
I think Grundy around the ground is much better. Like,
Yep.
he had 33 disposal, Gorn had 33 disposal, whatever. Who gives a fuck? Every week, Grundy pulls out 20, 25 every week.
Around the ground, Gundy.
He's also a better kick for goal than Gorn as well.
Gundy, yeah.
And I think that his hit-outs to advantage, I think that they both are very, very good at hit-outs to advantage. And I wouldn't say that one necessarily is better than the other when they do get a clear tap. I think that both of their palm work, when they both get clear hit-outs, is similar.
Yep.
So I wouldn't say, but I would say that in terms of pure volume, Gorn wins out.
I think pure tap is Gorn.
Yeah.
Pure around the ground is Grundy. So it's kind of like, how do you choose between the two? Like, honestly,
I
I know you're meant to.
This is 2019.
Right? I know you're meant to. But
To me, the guy that gets around the ground more is always better.
yeah, true.
This is a midfielder's league.
Yeah.
Like, the more possessions you can get, the more pressure you can put on your opponents by possessing the ball, the better off your team's going to be.
I feel sorry for Melbourne.
I don't.
I do.
They traded Hogan, who's a loose cannon at best, but
Yeah.
no.
Well, what's he done this year? Nothing.
Doesn't matter.
What's he done?
In that team? What could he have done this year?
Yeah, true. I don't know. I feel sorry for Melbourne because they have such silver service tapping out. They have Oliver, who's good. Yeah, Viney hasn't done that well either. Brayshaw hasn't done well. Maybe they believe they're in hype, like Petrarca. Maybe they were like, hey, we're all the tits, and guess what? We're flat-chested. Like, seriously. Just, I don't know. But Gorn, for me, is the best tap ruckman. However, if I had to choose one, I'd go Grundy because, again, he's younger. He is better around the ground. So, he can compete in the tap out.
He's like 3 years younger as well, so there's that.
I don't know.
Outback 2K as well also says, Walters if you need a pod. So if you are looking for a point of difference,
Yes.
I don't think that's... You can't get Walters this week.
No, not... Well, what's he priced?
Oh, you can get Walters.
You can get Walters.
No, you're right.
Well, if you're going for pods...
He's just under 500k. I think he's about 495.
The old Daniel Rich would also be a good thing. It's funny because I had Ben Ashton ask me, hey, Ben Ashton, by the way, hey, peace out, mate. Love ya. Love your work.
Fuck Marshall. Fuck Marshall.
Marshall. Anyway,
you wouldn't want to be anyone else in the world right now.
It was a genuine question whether to bring in.
Sorry.
You don't want to be anywhere else in the world right now.
listen.
So without further ado, I bring to your Marshall.
Sorry, yeah. It took you a while to get.
You're about to witness hip
You're
hop
picking up
in
what I
its
was picking
most
up.
purest. Anyway.
Okay, so we're
I was-
old school hip hop fans. That's what we do.
I thought you were talking about anyway, Marshall. Right.
Cool.
Anyway, so about Harris Andrews, where is he a good option to bring in? He was averaging about 91 or so, and he started off. His first half was horrible. 3 touches or 4 touches, was on bugger all SuperCoach points. But when Carlton started to dominate, the ball was in there in the heavy, and he actually did really well for the second half. Averaged really well. Was probably the best Lions player in the second half. True. It was a tale of two halves. Lockie Neal first half, amazing. Andrews second half, amazing.
He was good.
I wouldn't bring him in though.
But you know,
Daniel Rich.
I mean, his second half was good, but was it Patrick Cripps good or?
I gotta stop bringing up the Lions.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I do like Cripps though. You know this.
So, Ice Truck Killer, so shout out Ice Truck Killer, being an absolute boss for so long listening to our pods. He said a couple of things. First thing he said is... actually, I can't even find it now.
Chris can't even use technology.
No, I had it covered. All good.
find
But
it, Chris.
he did say this. First of all, whores aren't worth holding on to. It could be accurate. He could be...
Wow.
It could be accurate. That is a point.
That is a very valid point.
It's actually quite a valid point, and I'm not
And
arguing with
actually,
you.
no, I'm going to disagree.
I'm not arguing with
I'm going
you.
to disagree because if you do hold on to them, it does cost you in the long run, both money, time, and resources.
I mean, usually you pay double for that kind of action.
Sounds risky, Cotton.
F&A, Carton, F&A.
Been a lot of movie references.
We have. I think we've done well tonight. All right.
Don't pat yourself too early, Chris. It could be a Crips moment coming.
It's true. Let's go, Carlito. Does everyone love Crips because Carlton is shit, and it's cute? Big, but what if they start winning? Does he get? Oh yeah. Okay, so it's cute because they're getting absolutely trashed. And he's still amazing, but what
if they
happens if they
start
winning?
yeah, like if
games?
he starts dominating.
Oh, I
Collingwood-
hate Carlton. I hate Carlton a lot more than I hate Essendon, which is saying something.
yeah, right.
So yeah, if they do start winning, I'll be like, I'm on the hate train. Also, I really don't want Dale Thomas to win anything with Carlton, which would like.
Jeez, it's been so long. Let it go.
No.
Do you know how many Lions played for?
Oh, Mick, yeah, I'll come to Carlton.
What?
Dude, Mick Malthouse.
Yeah, why? I will have come to
Yeah,
Carlton.
yeah,
Why
we
does he
followed
talk-
him there
why
like
does
a
he
little
talk
bitch.
that?
Yeah, because he's a little bitch.
So where's Mick Malthouse now?
Fired. He's in the Hall of Fame. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Boom.
Chris, let it go.
Ah, sorry.
Right? Take it from the movie Frozen. Just let it go.
Oh, did you see the new trailers? Frozen 2?
Is there really?
Yeah, there's
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Redden, Yo, like seriously, and I think there might even be another one. West Coast. Gotta let it go, mate. They won a premiership
Do
for
have
West
to
Coast.
let
Do you
it
remember
go.
that?
Agreed.
Remember that premiership?
I do
last
remember
year?
that premiership.
Do you remember that one?
Yep. Awesome. So Braddles78 says, yeah, there's definitely no North players worth considering except Cunnington, but only if drunk trading.
Yeah.
I don't mind a bit of drunk trading every now and then.
It'd be a cunning move, Cotton.
It would be cunning. Absolutely. Sorry. Oh, what do I do here? I'm really thinking. Where Wally says Chris is on fire. Thanks, mate. I'm just going nuts. That's what I do. T-Man Hawk. Hey, T-Man. What's going on? He says, hi, Chris and Ben. Thinking Haw, Chase Jones and Bolter. Oh, you got Chase Jones. That's upsetting for you. And Bolter to Luke Ryan, Bewley, and Warple. I don't mind Warple as like a F6/F7. He's not the best one you're going to get in, but at least he's playing a good role. 1 week he can snag.
His role is
decent
good,
score.
but what's his price though? Like I'd rather bring in.
He'd be somewhere in the 400s for sure.
Yeah, I'd rather bring in like Marshall.
Marshall.
I'd rather bring in so many people around his price point though. That's the only problem.
I bring to Marshall.
Oh, sorry, Wally. I just saw your message come through about are you on the right path? So yes, I'll get back to that later.
Yeah,
I mentioned him yesterday anyway about a couple of his trade options, and I highly disregarded his Zeeble option.
Fair enough. Naderade said, thanks, boys, for the advice. And thanks for the help. I'll trade Haw. Yeah, well done, buddy. Yeah, get on the train.
Get on the Haw train.
Now, TL73 with a nice little ice badge here. I don't know what that's reference to, but I respect that. Benel has the worst cars in the world, and I don't know how he's still on the AFL list. Absolutely, Max Factor. Thanks for asking.
You love that.
So good. Never trust Ross. Also agreed to that. So Naderade also says trading out Haw, Clark, and Ainsworth to Bewley, Boak, and Luke Ryan. Thoughts, lads?
Yeah, that's good.
That was literally my plan. Except Haw was going to be Bolter, and I just didn't have quite enough cash. 20k
You know what
short.
the best thing about this is, Chris?
Yeah.
We're pretty much on Adelaide time because you're reading stuff half an hour late.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
That's true. You're reading half an hour ago's conversation. And you're like, yeah, totally agree. I'm like, yes, we've had this
TL73 had a bit of a laugh about irrigation stations, so well done there.
Yeah, like, right? That's so good. I've said that for years. Anyway, irrigation station.
Yeah.
What are the plans?
And now TL73 also says Caleb Daniel or Josh Dunkley. So I think if you've got the cash and it's not going to impact your overall team, Josh Dunkley's a easy no-brainer.
If you have
at this point
not many trades, not much cash, then you might want to go the cheaper
Here's
option.
what I will say though. I hate Bevo. And I did this exact trade last year. This exact trade at this exact time last year, except I did it to Toby McLean.
Do you know how cheap
It was
Toby...
averaging 111 at the time after 11 games. And you know what he ended up averaging?
95 or something.
95 and was averaging 86 on the back end of the year.
Well, so Robbie Gray averaged 80 or so on the back end of that year.
You're not going to win either way. Like, there's no guarantees.
You think that's bad? I brought him in averaging 120 last year. And you know the other reason why I think people are trying to jump on the Zeeble train? Because they're looking for Dunkley 2019.
Not going to happen.
What Dunkley did last year, they're like, ooh, here's a little slither of form. And they're trying to find Dunkley 2019.
I can understand the want to do that, but it's just impossible.
Yeah, but it's not a flash in the pan though. It's not a new person with a role that looks good. It's like an old person who's never done it before, never looked good for a long period of time.
Yeah, well, Aussie Gamer 231 also says, I have Dunkley only because of the back end of the last year, which is 100% true.
Yep.
The only reason why I didn't start with him is because I just couldn't trust Ross.
Yeah, I did it as a gamble.
Yeah.
And we know I did it as a gamble because I looked at his back end of the year and I'm like, his scoring was that good that I gambled it. I went with him.
He also says, sorry, sorry, I don't assume gender. Yep, check the stats of last year for Dunkley. And the issue is that at the end of last year and the start of this year, he played two separate, completely different roles.
Yeah.
So depending on what his role is will depend on how you're going to score.
Well, the good thing
right now he's playing midfield, so great.
Yeah, but even when he was forward, he was still getting 90,
70s.
80, 78. It wasn't bad.
Terrible.
It wasn't horrible.
But if he does that from now to the end of the year, I'll be absolutely fuming.
I'll blame you.
I'll be fuming.
I don't think they can, though. How well he's playing in that role at this point.
Here's the issue. They're still not winning.
True.
So
It's not his fault.
No, I'm not saying that it is, but does that mean that they just want to change their mix-up? Again, it's all to do with their forward line. It's dysfunctional.
Maybe McLean comes back in.
Maybe they just want to change something.
He's cheap.
Maybe.
McLean is cheap. He's averaging 68.
Maybe it's something I've never
Talk
even
about
seen
a 4
before.
from Grace. 68 average. That's a 4 from Grace. I'm pretty sure it's 68 if I find it. Oh, looks Wally. Thanks for listening, mate. Because I think I just got a message.
Maybe it's a thong. No old school references. Okay.
Thong.
No, that's not what I was going for. So Endo says, I'm currently sitting
Maybe let the booty
4724 premiums, so which means you need 5 more. I'm looking at going Fife. Should I wait on Fife and get a defender or forward primo, or I'd go Sick Dog or Dunkley? Thoughts? Depends on who else you have in your midfield. I think Fife's someone that I don't have and I don't plan on having, and the reason is,
and the reason is Chris has ranked 20,000 and he has nothing,
which is not great,
and he has nothing to gain.
No, but I have the other midfield. Midfield's not where my issues lie.
No, it's the Robbie Gray.
There's
and
enough
the West
other good midfielders that are averaging about what Fife's averaging anyway. So I've got Lockie Neal, and a lot of people don't have Lockie Neal. So I've got Neal, Cripps, Josh Kelly. Who are the top? I've got 4 of the top 5 averages. Yeah, or 5 of the top 6 averages.
Oliver.
So for me, getting 5 is, if I've got the cash, I don't have the cash, but if I did, great. But at this point, it's not worth it for me. I may as well try and get someone who's going to be value in the forward line or a top scorer in the forward line who's going to be 80k less than go for someone like 5. And they're not going to be able to also simultaneously, then they can't afford Neal. There's no way that someone who's out there trying to get their last midfield spot can afford 620k for Neal. They're going to have to wait until after his buy and then some to try and get something that drops. So I don't think you're going to be disadvantaged too much. I don't think everyone has all of the top mids. That's very rare. They would have to be really lucky to do that.
Yeah, who started Cunnington? No one.
So
they would tactically
pick your battles is what I'm saying, and then get value where you can. So
yeah. It's funny though, Chris, because we always reflect back to our start of the year, and I actually worked out the difference in score between Dunkley and Robbie Gray / Westhoff. Because when you were heckling me about the Cripps thing, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. You might have picked up, 80 points, right? I was like, you're still about 210 points behind the Dunkley.
100%. I'm like 278,000.
I was trying to take what you gave and ripping on me, and I always try and.
Well, the first 3 weeks I was going all right.
You were going great.
I looked well above.
I was
like, as a matter of fact, you should have Robbie Gray.
You were Lockie Neal, and I was just Cripps biting my time after halftime.
It was good times. Good times. All right,
anyway,
moving on.
Round them
out. TL73 said you should be praising Malthouse's work with destroying Carlton.
You should.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Well done, Malthouse.
Praise that.
Outback 2K says Chris is a tank. Nah, it might look. Is it just because my? I don't know. I started working out again 2 days ago. I haven't worked out in 4 months. I absolutely have gained so much weight. I look completely terrible.
It's funny. We've done the opposite.
Yeah, you've gone down. You've lost what? 10 kilos or something stupid?
Yeah, I couldn't lift up. I look in the mirror. I'm like, okay, I've still got a chest. Right?
I got 4 chins at the moment. I got so many chins.
Well, when I hurt my shoulder, I displaced my shoulder, so I can't do upper body. So I've just been literally doing cardio, and my legs are big enough anyway.
Cardio, no.
My legs are big enough anyway, so I've done one leg session, in 7 weeks.
Legs are overrated anyway.
I've dropped 10
no
kilos.
one looks at your legs.
10 kilos in 7 weeks.
That's what pants are for. They cover them anyway.
This is the lightest I've been in like 5 years, I reckon.
Really?
Probably.
It's a good effort.
It's like 87.
Well, yeah, we gotta come gym together again soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been.
I'll be trim for your wedding.
We'll kick the football on the weekend.
After, yeah.
All right, cool.
Always got a bag of footies in the car.
All right. TL73 says Ice Badge was a charity badge from last year. Well done, mate. Good stuff. Naderade says, sorry lads, I went away to do a bit of homework. Could you sum up what you said to my trade? I'll tell you what's even better, Naderade. You can actually just rewind the cursor and go back and then re-watch all of this.
No way.
Yeah.
So if you're actually streaming live, you can actually
100%.
backtrack.
Yeah, you can.
100%?
Yep, 100%. And when we finish the stream, it goes live on Twitch straight away. You can literally go straight to Twitch as soon as our Twitch is finished and watch the entire Twitch presentation again. Or if you wait about an hour, it'll be live on YouTube and our podcast platforms. So
Correct. And speaking of platforms, facebook.com/SC Insider.
that was a nice little... Twitter is SC_Insider_.
Yes. Twitch SC underscore... No. Twitch.tv/SC_Insider. And on all the audio platforms.
And YouTube.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
Funny, Chris. Speaking of 100%, is that Carlito actually sent a little message through. Apparently, Stonesy said 100% 6 or 7 times last Friday at work.
Who?
Stonesy. Carl sent me a message being like, Stonesy, that's why I put up a post.
I love it.
Stonesy said 100%.
Show us your Stonesy.
He said 100%, 6 or 7 times at work, Stones. So, love it. It's infectious.
Nice. I respect that. Well done. Well done. We love our community, and we've got the greatest community. Oh, I walked up to work today, saw this guy, had my SuperCoach Insider mug in hand.
He did. I need my mug.
Hey, it's downstairs. Hey, so if you guys want some mugs,
He was rocking it. He was rocking the mug at work. It was legit.
The more donations and stuff that we get, we're going to put it all back into the podcast. So it's either beers or it's going to be... We do have a little bit of a kitty from everyone that's donated and everyone who's subscribed.
And we have some things in the works, hopefully, for next year.
We do. We got massive things in the work for next year. You want to be on this podcast next year. It is going to be massive.
Like I know Chris talks a lot of shit, just quietly, but we're not gonna do a Lockie Neal.
Spoil it.
We're not gonna do a Lockie Neal.
We're not gonna go halfway and then...
We're not gonna do a Lockie Neal and count our chickens before they hatch and get raped by a crypt. But it's... I know, right? And I can say it because a Lions supporter. But whatever, like some things are coming into fruition, and it is fire, like 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be massive.
Fire.
There's going to be more of us, more of you, more of everything, and twice as good quality. So we look forward to it next year.
Yes. Correct.
Now that pretty much rounds us up for the night.
Yeah, I'll just have a quick chat here, Chris. Just double check through Facebook and Twitter, just because I know people would get a bit antsy if we did miss them.
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, like with the quality and stuff like that as well, I think next year, absolute fire. And that would only be our 3rd year too. Like I'm still blown away by...
Oh,
and we
are. All the time.
We get together, we talk some... We
talk smack. We like talking this stuff anyway. We're going to talk about it regardless.
We talk about it...
This is how we sold it to our partners. Like, I'm watching the games anyway. I'm
not only
already
that,
invested. It's like an hour of my week. It's fine.
Productivity when I bump into him at work, horrible. So I bumped into him.
Army's like...
I bumped into him today, and then we're like, oh, by the way, what do you think about this? And we start talking footy, and we're sitting there. Chris has got his SuperCoach Insider mug, looking all smug. And
it was great. I don't have one now. I do have a beer, though, so it's fine.
But then we're like, well, fuck, you better get back to work. I just got to avoid you at work, mate, because otherwise we'll lose half an hour talking about the difference between Ryan and Sicily, you know.
Come to my office, bro. No one comes in there.
Step into my office. Step into my warehouse.
I love my office. It's fantastic. I actually have an office at work, which is great. Don't have to work in a cubicle with everybody else. I've got my own office, which is cool.
Okay, anyway. So just double checking through here as well. Brad, I'll
Stonesy just said 100%.
Yeah, Stonesy.
Yeah, boy.
Gotta love Stones.
I love Stonesy.
You know what the funny thing was I was thinking, though? I have not seen a meme. Were that many memes from Stonesy?
Nah, he's done well. He's just... No,
He's picked his
times.
times.
He did like 3 last week in one post. He did some good ones.
He picks his times.
It was good.
He picks his
times. Thanks, Stonesy. We love you.
Yeah, we might have to bring him in as an affiliate, the official meme giver.
Well, we're going to have to...
We'll have to.
We are going to be looking for admins to expand. We've got a few offers out there, but we are expanding.
Particularly next year, like the lift from season 1 to 2 was absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, We'll need it. But the good thing is next year I will be teaching, so I'll have much more evenings free, and
we'll be able to record earlier.
it'll be more structured. So
Yeah.
I know at this point it's like, hey, we're recording at 6:30, or hey, it's like, Friday or Wednesday or Sunday, or it's been
People
a bit
get
all over the
frustrated,
place.
but what people need to understand is that it's just me and Ben. The other groups have like
Heaps of
12, 15, 30 people, 40 people working with them. Like,
or
it's
multiples,
just us.
and people write articles for them, or they do their research for them, and we just get together, and it's almost like the front bar where we just get together.
That's the idea.
We have a couple of beers, we talk some shit, but we also then relate it back to what you actually need to know. So anyway, Facebook was just pretty much Brad, so I'll go through him personally anyway. And look, I think that's about it, because I don't want to see this guy's Twitter nonsense anyway. So look, there you go.
All good. Well, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and we will definitely catch you guys next week again.
Yes.
Any questions between now and lockout, of course, touch base with us. Make sure you pay attention to your teams. There is a game tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
So be aware of the lockout that happens tomorrow night.
Yep.
Any trades that you make sure that they're not involving any of those teams. Otherwise, you can make them later in the week.
Correct.
The big issue this week is whether or not Haitley or Scott plays. They both played the Sunday game. You're not going to find out before lockout the first.
You'd wait.
So
you'd have to wait.
It's really tough.
My recommendation is reverse all trades now. Fix your team up, unless you're trying to get rid of someone playing tomorrow night, which I don't see why you would.
Or unless you want Nation, which is
correct, or Naish, which is the other thing that I'm considering. Do you want? Would you go early on Naish? That's a good question.
No, I would. No.
Yeah, I can't really, because I've already
There's
got.
so many injuries now.
I've got Gardner. I've got Ainsworth. I've got.
The only issue that
Nothing.
I like Nation, it's probably something we didn't really talk about, and we're doing a little bit of a bit part at the moment. I like Naish, but I don't see the point in bringing him in this week when you can wait on him for another 3 weeks. I don't think he's going to score that much. Like, if he tons up, I'll be upset. Outside of that, he might get a 70 or 80. Either way, it's not really going to impact my side, to be completely honest, unless I get another 6. The thing is,
What if you're forced to bring in like a Bewley though? Would you go early on a Naish instead of a Bewley? That's a big question though.
here's my issue is that I'm bringing in Gardner this week because I need the extra cash, right? So I can't afford that extra 20k. That's just my team right now. That's how it is. If I could afford the extra money, maybe. But I find that next week you're going to be trading in Gardner, whereas next week I won't be trading in Naish.
Yeah.
The other thing is I need people on field next week, and looking forward, I can't afford another 0 in my backline. Now, a lot of people out there will be like, oh, well, I can afford that in my backline. That's fine. But me personally, I need that extra player on field next week in my backline, so I'm not taking that risk.
Fair call.
So that's, again, it's a 0 versus another 50 or 60 or whatever I can get.
And you
from
can still
Gardner.
get him before a price rise anyway. So if he
And
does,
then you wait a week and get him the following week. Like, you don't necessarily need him. So if he goes really well, you're only really missing out on very few points.
If he goes well, you could do like an Ainsworth or even a Dersmore or something down to finish.
It's like the difference is like 20k versus maybe 20 to 30 points. Absolute maximum.
You're right.
In my opinion. So
okay,
it's not worth it.
Well, that pretty much rounds us out anyway. So thank you for those who have been with us for the journey. Hopefully we help you through this buy round. So send us a text or Facebook, Twitter.
We're always active on all our platforms. If you want to get in touch with us, and by we I mean Ben, which is good because he's ranked higher than me right now, so it makes sense.
That is true. Anyway, Facebook is a lot more responsive because Chris probably checks Twitter more than I do.
I'm more on the Twitter than you.
I'm more on the Facebook. He's more on the Twitter. So that gives you a good indication.
That's what I do. Anyway.
Yep.
We love you. We'll leave you. Thanks,
out.
guys. Have a good one.
# bless ya.
Bye.
Bye.